The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
I've got some interesting update and insight information on the Sheriff Arpaio Mike Zullo case, the Arpaio court case that's going on out in Arizona concerning the accusations of racial profiling, and you've probably been reading about that, and Sheriff Arpaio making some admissions to not following the federal law, etc. Also some admissions about investigating, doing some investigation on the judge's wife, and there's some context to all of that as well. And then just a couple days ago, there was an article at WorldNet Daily speaking about a man by the name of Dennis Montgomery, he's now, he's in the court records. His name is out there in public documentation that he is claiming that he did some work with the NSA and CIA, and can prove, he says, and will testify, at least his lawyer is saying that several Supreme Court justices were targeted by United States government spying upon them and collecting dirt on them and intelligence on them. And so all of that's kind of wrapped up and tied together. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. Listen very quickly, and I've about run out of time, but on WorldNet Daily, WND, just yesterday I think it was, there was an exclusive article with the title, "Two Members of Supreme Court Targeted by U.S. Spies." And right in the middle of it, there's a name that came up that was also in some news out in Arizona in this court case against Sheriff Arpaio. And this name that came up, let me see, I had it highlighted, and I think I might have, okay, here it is. In the WND article, the title of it again is "Two Members of Supreme Court Targeted by U.S. Spies." It says, "The witness, Dennis Montgomery, can testify, quote, about the unconstitutional illegal surveillance conducted by the National Security Agency and the CIA that is highly relevant and of crucial importance as he worked closely with these agencies following the tragedy of September 11, 2001, said Klayman." Now, that's Larry Klayman, his attorney. Larry Klayman, of course, is the founder of Freedom Watch, and has successfully sued the NSA in 2013, and has also sued, I think it was Bill Clinton, successfully before the Supreme Court. So Larry Klayman is, nobody to wink at. I mean, so this name comes up, Dennis Montgomery, as a witness, somebody that worked with, not as an employee, I don't think it says, but it says somehow worked with or in alliance with the NSA and the CIA. And supposedly he's got testimony and evidence that the NSA, CIA targeted Supreme Court justices to gather dirt on them to be used by, well, gosh, I wonder who. But anyway, that's interesting, especially in light of Chief Justice Roberts' Obamacare ruling that shocked everyone. Now we've got this homosexual ruling coming up and the Defense of Marriage Act ruling, and it makes people wonder. And that's what this article does. It does a lot of speculation as well as lending some credence with statements from this attorney. But people have asked because when this first thing came up about Arpaio being taken into court over not enforcing federal laws, and they accused him of racial profiling, et cetera, and Arpaio admits he didn't follow the law precisely, et cetera. But in that, the same name came up, Dennis Montgomery, and the judge out there kind of worked all that in. And something came up about the Obama investigation and all that. So people are asking, is this part of, the ongoing investigation? Is this the earth-shattering news? And here's my two-part answer to that. First of all, I am not at liberty to divulge information in an ongoing investigation. Now, number one, there's very little that I know about it anymore because this thing has gotten so complex. We've used the word dark and deep before, saying what Mike Zullo has said, that there's so much of it that I don't know anymore. I mean, I've been reporting on it, and I keep you abreast of what I'm told and what I'm allowed to speak. But I do know after just speaking with Mike Zullo just a day or two ago that the investigation is still ongoing, and the plan to come forward with the information is still first and foremost. Now, it's like I said years ago, any of this can change at any time, but now you're watching some things unfold, and this is the point I'm trying to get to. Now you're beginning to understand what Mike Zullo has been saying for the last months, that there are legal hurdles to jump through. You're beginning to see the tip of the iceberg of that. Now, Arpaio's being dragged into court, and see, again, I'm not at liberty to say how all that's connected, but it's connected more than likely to all of this in one way or the other. There are connections and interconnections, and it goes deeper than you could imagine, I have been told. And then this name comes up in several articles, Dennis Montgomery, and he's come up before, and, is he an informant to the Arpaio case, etc.? So the bottom line is, folks, now you're beginning to get a little whiff, a little smell, a little taste of what Zullo has been trying to say. This is why he can't come forward and do a bunch of conferences and news conferences and divulge information, because it's getting so deep. And now we've got federal cases and accusations and outing of people and information. And so just keep your eyes on it. And what I'm allowed to speak, I will. Again, I know very little at this point as far as the guts of it, but what I'm allowed to speak, I will, and what I can't, I won't. But we're going to keep you posted on everything. But the latest is that this investigation is still ongoing, and there is no intention at this point of dropping it or not bringing it before the public. So we'll keep you posted.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.